everyone's comment regarding hearing things from the public that might not be the heartbeat of an organization. This might be a little bit for a different discussion, but someplace else that you could hear something that might not be the heartbeat of your organization is from funders. And as long as your mission and your core and all of your activities are aligned with your brand, don't stray from that for funding dollars. It is tempting. It is tempting. Right. Any more questions?
Hi. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I guess this question is more for Lourdes because it's about, I don't know how many people here are a local affiliate of a national brand, but it's kind of a different situation because you can't really control, someone else created the brand. And in my work with the Salvation Army, we have a lot of the same challenges as you, where you do different things in different communities. So the only part of the brand message that gets through to people is whatever is the same, which for you is the red jacket. For us are the things that don't count really that much, which is like Red Kettles, which is fundraising. We don't want to be known for fundraising. We want to be known for what we do with the money. And the other one is the thrift stores, which are this teeny tiny little sliver that's really not part of anything. And that's what people know. They don't know anything about the food pantries and the career services and all this stuff. So do you have the freedom to, and if you do have the freedom, what do you do about it, to have like localize the branding, I guess, to say, this is our brand nationally, but here's what we really do here. And I mean, it seems like through your graphics, that's what you are trying to do. But I just wanted to hear a little bit more about that. And then as long as I have the mic, I wanted to say to Chris that I miss the dawn of man. But it's funny that all the things that I miss about COSI when I think about it are the things that are totally not science, they're natural history. And when I thought about it logically, I was like, wow, they really are like doing their mission, like all the stuff that I really liked. I should just go to the Ohio Historical Society, which I've never been to. So I miss like Dawn of Man and Streets of Yesteryear, and I'm like, wow, those are not science. But, okay, sorry. So back to the topic.
But really cool. They were really cool. Yes. I think part of it was also for us is that now we're all doing the same thing. Like everybody's focused on high school graduation and everyone's focused. So it makes it a little easier for those messages to transfer. You can, for us, we definitely have the ability, as long as we're not straight. I mean, part of when Jason and I started working together was, I showed him the other things that the other pieces that we had. This is actually interesting. I'll pass this around. This is a booklet that there's some on that table, but these pieces were kind of based off of this booklet that was produced nationally. So I showed it to Jason. I said, this is kind of the feel and the spirit of who we are. How can we replicate that? This is using one of our core members locally. These are the messages that I think it's important for Columbus to understand because, we were changing. We were having people think of core members more as tutors, mentors, role models. And this is a whole series of banners where, I could take one banner that has like a statistic about the high school dropout crisis, and then I could put it with this, and you get it, right? You're like, oh, I get it, dropout. Oh, and this is this kid who's doing this, right? So you make that connection. So we have definitely had the ability to do that. And I think it's about finding the right, I think this is the other thing, whoever is doing your messaging, you have to have, like with anything in life, whether it's your hairdresser, your mechanic, whatever, it's about a relationship, right? They have to get you. And so for Jason, I mean, he had a connection. His wife was a City Year core member with me, actually, when we were core members just only yesterday in 1994. And so he already kind of fundamentally got it. And so I think that working together, we were able to say, this is the feel, this is what City Year is like. He met core members, he was in our space. So I think that he began to understand that. And, when things weren't quite right, which actually pretty much never happened, but because he's so good at what he does, but when things weren't quite right, we could tweak it and say, no, this is what we want. And then we also had that open dialogue with our national office to say, these are the things we're doing so that, we wanted to make sure we weren't going way over here with it. But I still think that we had the ability, as long as you're following the general spirit of what you're doing, I think that when you are have that national presence, that locally, you can still localize that for you.
Well, I think localizing the brand is really critical, and you're seeing it, with national brands like Starbucks and Caribou. You go to your local Caribou or Starbucks, and they have these little sort of vignettes of your barista, so you can get to know them. There's now Starbucks is such a mega brand that they're almost becoming impersonal or potentially impersonal. So they're working hard to overcome that, and I think. When you're a local brand, you have that already, but we, at COSI, one of the things we're trying to do is be locally relevant. So when we moved to the new building, a lot of our content was sort of, I won't call it generic because that's not the right word, but it was universal. It wasn't necessarily a local story. And one of the things that we've really done the last few years is to connect ourselves to local stories, local organizations. So as I think about the Salvation Army, perhaps it's who you align with locally to elevate your story and your impact in the local market as part of a larger, wonderfully reputable organization. So we're looking at who we align ourselves with in order to further tell that story, both for bringing in content, things that people can experience, but also to put our message out there as well.